Welcome back. We've got a really fascinating deep dive lined up today, actually stemming from a listener request. We're tracing the root of human insecurity, looking at it through the lens of a Bible teacher, focusing right in on Eve in Genesis.
Yeah, and as we prepped for this, 4 big questions really drove the analysis from the source material. First, was Eve actually insecure from the get-go?
Right.
Second, did the serpent, cause that insecurity, or did his words just sort of reveal something already stirring?
Okay.
Third, how did that moment set a pattern for, well, all of us? And finally, how does this spirit of insecurity play out today?
That really sets the stage. And what's striking is how the sources immediately frame this, not just as like a psychological thing, but as a spiritual issue.
Yeah.
Tied directly to identity.
Exactly. It's about who you believe you are.
So where do we start? Genesis, right?
Right. You have to look at the before. Genesis 2.25 is key. It says, Adam and Eve were both naked and were not ashamed.
No shame. That sounds like the opposite of insecurity.
Totally. It means complete security, no self-consciousness, no hiding, no fear, just wholeness in who God made them to be. Eve started out secure.
Okay, so if that was the default, secure, whole, then insecurity had to be, introduced somehow. It wasn't innate.
Introduced is the perfect word. The sources argue it wasn't like she hated herself, but it stemmed from a subtle discontent.
Discontent with what? Paradise.
With her identity. A feeling perhaps that what God provided, who God said she was, maybe it wasn't quite enough. That's the vulnerability.
The seed of doubt. That makes sense. And that's the opening the serpent uses with, surely God did not say.
Precisely. And those words, the sources suggest they did 2 things at once. They sort of poked at that vulnerability, revealing the discontent, and they actively caused the insecurity to bloom by twisting truth into a lie. It presented doubt as reasonable.
And the core of that lie wasn't really about the fruit on the tree, was it?
Not fundamentally. The sources call it identity theft.
Identity theft. Let's unpack that, because that's a powerful idea.
Well, the temptation was essentially, you can be more than what God made you. It tempted Eve to shift from resting in her God-given identity to striving to define herself.
To become her own creator, in a sense.
Sort of, yeah. Believing you can define yourself better than the one who designed you, that's the theft. The lie is, you need something else to be complete.
And once that trust is broken, that lie is accepted.
Yeah.
The pattern is set.
Oh, absolutely. You see the fallout immediately. Adam points the finger at Eve, blame, deflection.
Right. The first, it wasn't my fault.
Then Cain envies Abel, leading to murder. And fast forward, you get the Tower of Babel humanity trying to make a name for itself.
Genesis 11.4. That phrase, make a name, it just screams insecurity, doesn't it? Trying to build your own significance.
Exactly. If you're secure in who you are, you don't need to build a tower to prove it. That striving is insecurity made visible.
And that original lie, you're not enough unless... you see that everywhere today, this spirit of insecurity.
It's rampant. Think about comparison culture, massively amplified by social media, right? Everyone curating an image.
Modern towers, in a way.
Yeah.
Digital towers.
Yeah. And then there's the need for control, trying to secure our own futures, validate ourselves through achievement, apart from trusting God.
And just general confusion about identity, right? Who am I supposed to be? That deep-seated doubt.
It's spiritual warfare, really. Doubt is the oldest trick in the book, often disguised as just thinking for yourself.
So if that's the downward spiral, how does the idea of restoration work? How do we reverse it?
Well, the source points to Christ. He steps into that history of doubt. True security isn't found by trying harder, but by trusting who God declares you to be in him.
So it's a restoration of trust, leading to a restoration of identity.
Yes. And the cross is the ultimate counterpoint to the serpent's lie. It deals with the root issue.
Okay, so summing it up, insecurity fundamentally began when humanity decided to question God's truth about who they were, chasing self-definition instead of relationship with the definer.
Perfectly put. And that leads to this really powerful final contrast from the source material. The first recorded conversation between Satan and humanity started with a question mark, with doubt. Did God really say?
Yeah.
But the final word from Christ on the cross wasn't a question, it was a declaration. It is finished. Certainty replacing doubt.
Wow. So where the serpent whispered, "You are not enough," the ultimate truth counters that. Colossians 2.10 says, "You are complete in me." And maybe that's the thought to really sit with today. What would it actually look like, feel like, for you to live your life consciously from that place of completion?